Man, I've seen some radical title screens in my time, but I gotta say, this is one of the worst. No, I'm just kidding. This is one of the best. You got a really cool pixel work on the lettering, and it's lit from the right with a kind of a surreal twilight illumination. It's really cool. You got some churning gear sounds in the distance, which obviously goes along with the visuals. So that's pretty cool. Start a new game. This is the follow-up to Phantom Legacy, or the Phantom Legacy series. It's a series that I like because it has kind of a cool occult tone that it establishes using visual and music choices along with writing, and it always kind of deals with questions about a very strange universe, which you don't quite understand the nature of the cosmology that it's set in. So there's always that kind of surreal tone to it where you don't quite know what's real or what the nature of reality is. We're getting some of that here with this introduction text. It's pretty much what I expected in terms of vague references to things that we don't quite understand yet. But Phantom Legacy managed to not quite go too far into the anime line, and it was actually pretty intriguing as a setting. Yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff reminds me of like Xenogears, where there should be like 2 dashes around the word "their hunger." Again, cool colors, like calling back to the title screen with that really weird horizon. I don't quite know what kind of universe this is yet. Oh, straight into battles. I like that Chrono Trigger white going on there. So the first thing that I like to do in RPG battles is just look at the skills and make sure that the combat designer actually has defined functions for each of the skills, because I know a lot of RPG devs like to just put in a bunch of skills to pretend that it's a super deep game when it's actually just a bunch of elemental hard counters. So I'm just going to read some of these moves. So it looks like you got 2 resources, AP and TP, and some of the moves generate TP and some spend it. So I'm just gonna try out the damage of this Astra. It's about 160 damage. This is a move that stuns. It also seems to do like almost twice as much damage too, and it doesn't cost much. I mean, if you cast 1 Reeve, you can get 4 of these out. So it doesn't seem like Astra is gonna be that useful of a move. So something that I noticed right when I got out of combat is that the screen seems very static, and we got this kind of pulse pounding action music, and it feels like more should be going on the screen, like maybe like comets are flying around, or people are fighting, getting stabbed. It just feels a little weird that the music is so driving but kind of nothing is going on. I feel like maybe in this kind of RPG scene with music like this, you'd kind of cross the bridge and then a guy would rush up and he'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck you up and stuff. So I don't know. Actually, it seems a little bit like a horror kind of scene, because you got all these bloody corpses around and this really strange kind of otherworldly background, and it just feels like this would really fit kind of a very quiet horror kind of scoring. So it says that move never misses, which is a little bit unfortunate. I like all moves not to ever miss. Just like, I don't think this game is going to be super offensive in terms of RNG, but I just like a high correlation between input and outcome, so that, you know, the player's actions actually determine whether they succeed or fail. So I don't really think that these are intended to be real battles, because Phantom Legacy started the same way. You had a super powerful hero who came in and just wasted everybody. It's kind of interesting to start with the overpowered hero, because you know, while it's not really satisfying in terms of actual RPG battles, it does add an interesting narrative context later when you switch to the more normal character. You just have a sense that there's all these crazy things going on out in the universe that this new character has no real awareness of. Oh yeah, I've seen the animation of this before. It's a pretty cool moment. I'd be pretty surprised if I hadn't already seen this in a little clip. It's not often you see a house that's actually a hat for a strange being. Yeah, I'm just gonna check these houses first. It looks like there isn't anything in here. I don't really know why these are here if there's not gonna be anything in them. I don't imagine we'll actually be playing as this character long though, so I guess it makes sense that there aren't gonna be any real items. Oh, so you can't leave if you decline to save your game. I don't know if that's quite intended. This is pretty cool. I've spoken against the inclusion of normal attacks in RPGs for a long time now. Usually doesn't add anything tactically, it's just a really boring thing. It's just a command that says deal some minor amount of damage. It doesn't really add anything to games. So Eldritch Law has totally done away with it, which is cool. Although I guess Astra's kind of a normal attack, so. Is there actually any indication of when this move stuns an enemy, or I guess they just don't have a turn that time, so. Yeah, so I don't know if this world is almost in orbit of a planet or something, because that looks like the cosmic horizon, like of an entire planet from space. It's a little bit weird, and it's kind of a cool setting. Oh wow, that guy just got wasted. No dialogue. I wish I could take some kind of special item off this guy's corpse. What kind of amateur made this game? Come on, you can't be doing that. Come on. See, the thing with the deliberately overpowered hero intro sequence is that the battle should either be really fast, as in totally just over in one turn, or you know, just to get across the point that he's really strong. But if we're doing it like 4 or 5 or more times, it starts to get kind of old, because you're just going through this procedure of killing these helpless enemies. The point that this guy is strong has already kind of been made, so we don't really need to like do this a bunch of times. It just kind of turns into busy work eventually. Oh, that's a cool object. I like these teleporter things. I don't know if the world is actually supposed to be like this, or if it's kind of been wrecked by the situation, but I guess if these teleporters in place, this is just the kind of thing that this strange civilization uses to get around. Broken Spectre. It seems to use the 4th dimension. I guess the 4th dimension in this universe isn't actually time, so that might be hinting at some interesting narrative possibilities. I like when kind of obviously occult kind of evil things use moves that kind of have a divine connotation to them, like a Saint Beam here, which I think is that's a move from 6 that an enemy uses. But it kind of raises questions about the actual nature of this Eldritch being. Hello? What's up? Okay, did I miss a trigger or something? Okay, I guess I did. Wait, did this guy's head just turn around backwards like The Exorcist? Holy shit. This guy seems to be talking about some greater cosmic events. The meaning of life, dude. I don't know what life means in this universe, but I'd like to know. That's kind of a cool design. I mean, you can't quite tell if he's biological or mechanical, which is always a good little balance to have. It's always a bit unnerving when you can't quite tell what something is. It seems like I can't really do much damage to this guy. I don't actually expect that this is a real boss, because we're still in the intro here with super powered Albion. Okay, I know you love your Doors of Doom. Yeah, Crying Heavens is also a Lavos attack name. I do like the aesthetic of move names from 6 and CT, and I think trying to go along those lines is cool, but maybe a direct reference is a little bit too cute. Okay, so that guy wasn't really a boss. That's a cool effect. It could be centered better on the character sprite, but whatever. I like this starry background. It kind of looks like stars, but also kind of doesn't. So that kind of adds to the mysterious nature of what this universe actually is. Cosmology is something that I don't think is explored nearly enough in fiction, whether it's, I guess, fantasy or occult. Usually authors kind of just go by the same rules where there's planets and gravity and space and stuff, but kind of Demon Legacy and stuff, it feels like it's in a kind of cosmology that's much stranger and much more mysterious. And part of the interest of these games is trying to figure out what the actual world is and how it works. Yeah, I don't quite know what anybody's talking about either. Hey man, sometimes you gotta take out the bad guys. Oh, that's a pretty rad effect. I like that one. The Life Eaters, dude. You probably don't want to mess with them. Oh shit, are we gonna have a Breath of Fire 2 like ape battle while falling? Oh, it's too bad that the background can't kind of be scrolling upwards inside of the actual battle to indicate that we're still falling, but I don't know. That would be cool. Since we're still playing as Albion, who's totally unstoppable, I expect this isn't actually a real boss that you can lose against. But I do like this guy's cool, like, general outfit. Yeah, he's barely doing any damage to me at all. Yeah, see, that's the thing about doing this overpowered hero kind of intro, is that it's not really a good indication of what kind of encounter or combat design that the game's actually going to have once it gets into the real story. So it's a little bit unfortunate that we're just doing all these battles that there's really no way to lose any of them. Yeah, he can get me low, but it takes him like 5 turns to do it, and I can restore all my health in like 1 turn. So since I know that there's actually no way to lose, it feels a little bit drawn out to just be exchanging turns with this guy, because I basically already know the outcome of every battle in this demo. Man, I don't even know what that band of black and white is in the background. This is a pretty weird universe. Oh wow, he just fucking stabbed him. Oh, we got another Eldritch being. You know what they say. Modern indie games, you gotta always end the trailer or whatever with a huge beast appearing from the background. So, okay, so that's it. I would say that since we were playing as the super strong character who just steamrolls through every battle, it's too bad for a demo that you don't really get a sense of what the encounter design in the actual game is going to be like, because for narrative purposes, the battles are just kind of a non-factor. And I know the storytelling style necessitates quite a bit of vagueness in terms of what's going on in the universe and what these super cool characters are up to. But I feel like Phantom Legacy did a better job of this kind of intro. I knew that there was a guy named Slade, and he was trying to take out this other guy named Shadar, who was trying to do something nasty to the universe, or maybe good. I don't know what he was trying to do. And there was a similar setup here, but I feel like the Phantom Legacy intro was more grounded. The setting was kind of this dark mansion, and it feels like this setting is much more strange and surreal and stuff. So I feel like it necessitates a little more explanation as to what's actually going on, because reading all that dialogue and stuff, I'm not really sure what the conflict is, or who's on what side, or what's at stake. So I feel like Phantom Legacy was a little more compelling that way. It did a better job of being vague but intriguing. So in terms of actually being a demo that tells people what this game is and what kind of stuff it's about, I don't think it does a great job, because the battles aren't really what the battles are going to be, and the story doesn't really tell you anything. But in terms of just giving you the tone and everything, I think it did a good job. There were some cool monsters and visuals. yeah, with the action feeling, I feel like it should either be pumped up a bit and have stuff crashing around, stars falling from the sky and bloodshed all over, or just totally go the other way and make it more of a creepy, kind of walking through the destruction type feeling with some kind of scary music and stuff. Yeah, because we didn't get there yet, but in Phantom Legacy, after the first intro, you switch to this other character named Nero, who was pretty sympathetic, but also very interesting because he was also living in some kind of strange pocket universe, as if the cosmology wasn't already complicated enough. So that was pretty cool. I just don't really have much of an idea yet of what Eldritch Law is about or anything like that. So I just feel like there was a little bit more to relate to in the Phantom Legacy introduction. So yeah, a strength of this series is being vague and mysterious, but also there needs to be kind of something to latch onto or understand for the viewer. I would kind of like to know a little bit about who Albion is and like why I should be on his side, other than he doesn't like people killing other people. So Eldritch Law, I am looking forward to seeing more from this game because the previous stuff in the series has always been pretty interesting, and there looks to be a pretty cool world here that I'd like to actually learn more about, other than just kind of vague references to beings and powers and voids.
I can't see.